And look, I'm not, again, talking about Elon, I'm not trying to build $4 billion, $100 billion businesses. I'm just trying to build one $100 million business. And I'd like to be present for my 2 kids' lives and go home. And I think that the best way to get there is by empowering and enabling our small team to make their own decisions.
Welcome to the Know Your Ship podcast, presented by eHub. I'm your host, Frank Dolce. Ben Perkins and caller. We've been trying to get you on this podcast for a long time. Like, you're a busy guy.
Sorry.
Or you just were reluctant for some reason to come on the podcast. I don't know.
Not reluctant. I just, I knew I wouldn't have gotten a free drink if I said yes on the first time.
Oh.
I learned from my wife, my now wife, that the harder to get, or you play, the more you get out of it. So you offered me a drink. You introduced me to employees.
Yeah. We're very friendly.
Yeah. If this was the first time at asking, you would have just pushed me into a dark corner and said, hey, just start talking. So
I see.
This was by design.
Very, very strategic. Very strategic of you. You know, I've known Ann Caller for a while, and it's the only shirt that my sons wear if they dress up. But I wear dress shirts all the time. And so I'm curious about one of your things is like, I hate dress shirts, so I decided to start making dress shirts. But I love dress shirts. So where do I fit in the and caller world?
That's the tough question, but that shirt looks great. It fits you great, and it's a great design. Afterwards, we'll take a picture of that design, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
And throw it into our future catalog. It's genuinely a great looking shirt. I was going to ask you you mind if I ask you where you got it from?
This shirt is from a local company called H.M. Cole.
Oh, okay. I know those guys very well.
Yeah.
Okay. Hence why it looks tailored. I was about to say that looks tailored for you. It is tailored.
Well, and I'm going to be honest, like, it is tailored, and I like the fit, but I'm still getting used to like the tailored shirt fit. So, but that said, I've gotten a lot of compliments on this.
You look great. I genuinely was going to compliment it. I know it wasn't ours.
Thank you.
I mean, we say the shirt can be for everyone, but I think pretty early on we found, and this is the classic, this is not a Ben-ism, so I won't take credit for it, but when you try to be everything for everyone, and you suddenly become nothing, whereas like, hey, let's lean into exactly what you said. You said the phrase around which we built the entire business. These are the only shirts your boys will wear if they have to dress up. I mean, seriously, that was kind of the psyche we wanted to tap into, so my dad, for example, I don't know if he likes dress shirts, but every single day in his career, he's 65, he has worn a dress shirt. And you can probably think of the brands that he was wearing, Brooks Brothers, whomever. We found out pretty quickly that he wasn't the guy we were going to convert. Obviously, we'll say yes to his wallet, but the battle wasn't trying to get you from a tailored fit or not a tailored fit, traditional dress shirt sizing with a whatever collar size and sleeve length, which I imagine you know what you are. And I imagine your sons don't know what they are.
I doubt it.
I would bet good money.
16.5, 35.
Yeah, I knew that you would know it. We were like, hey, why don't we go for the guys who aren't familiar with the collar size and sleeve length? Because our sizing is a little bit more non-traditional. So, extra small through 5XL with multiple fits. Obviously, I can tell you what the equivalent of a medium slim collar size and sleeve length is. But it's like, hey, for a guy just shopping for his friend's wedding or for a mission or whatever, I'm a medium in my Lululemon or in my Nike. I'm probably a medium in these guys' shirt. And that was what we tapped into. So we won't say no to you. But honestly, we're not the best dress shirt maker out there. Like, there are going to be details in our product that you're not like, wow, that's a fine craftsmanship. I think it is the best value. I think it's the best bang for your buck. I think for under a $50 shirt,
right, I mean, the price point's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we know that. But like if I go to an Eton shirt, if you're familiar with that brand, or
Absolutely.
it's like, oh, and we actually share a manufacturer with the who's who of dress shirts. And I've been to the factory and I see their lines, Brooks Brothers shirts coming off the press, proverbially speaking, and then ours. Like there for sure is a difference, but that's also why that shirt costs $250 more. And yeah, so I think there is a world. This is a really long, you started me off on a passionate thing that there are so many dress shirts sold in America every day. Every guy has to own one. I don't know what your requirement at eHub is for clothing.
I mean, yeah, you just opened up a can of worms.
Oh, sorry.
Because like I want a requirement.
Okay.
Like I keep hinting at, in fact, when we were walking in here, I introduced you to our HR director and
Jordan.
Yes. And I'm kind of dropping hints like, hey, wouldn't it be nice if we had standard of dress at eHub? And so but I also realize like that may be just a generational thing. I hate to admit that.
As someone who sells dress shirts, I hope it's not a generational thing. And it seems like it's almost a pendulum that's kind of swinging back into the middle.
Yeah.
Where with an older generation, every day you had to wear, and not an old generation, for the record. I said older. My dad always gets on me for that one.
Solomon, we might have to make that a clip. I don't know. I think he just...
No. Solomon is wearing a dress shirt. That's what started this whole thing. So Solomon, don't listen to him. But Solomon's wearing a dress shirt. I saw multiple people wearing dress shirts that you introduced me to.
Yes.
And it's like, hey, I don't know what Solomon's wearing. Maybe he bought it from H&M. I don't know. It's a good looking shirt. But I would imagine Solomon doesn't wake up in the morning thinking, I want to wear a dress shirt today. Maybe I'm wrong, Solomon. We haven't even talked. But we're saying we're for that guy. The guy who, if he has to wear clothes, we're the only ones he wants to wear. And by clothes, I mean dress
shirts. Well, we're going to have to talk about after this. We're going to have to talk about doing a little thing, for our little Ancaller eHub promotion inside the walls here. And maybe we can...
And you're a marketing guy.
Level up. I'm not. These are all the marketing. These are all the marketing guys. You mentioned something, and I want to ask you about that. But I also want to get back to your background a little bit more. But first, let me just go down this path. So you mentioned that you're like you have a wide range. You said like extra small up to
5X.
5X.
Yeah.
That's an incredible range of sizing. And you do things like you have slim, you have athletic, you have slim tall.
Yep.
Do you have athletic?
We do, but only in white, our standard white shirts. Yeah.
Okay.
So when you think about the SKUs, I think total SKU count is 1,300. Most of the less than 100 of those SKUs account for 70% of revenue, which I think is probably normal for a lot of brands. But I mean, we're very concentrated in white dress shirts.
Okay.
And so it's on white that we've expanded. So white is what has up to 5XL. Like the pattern I'm wearing right now, it only goes up to 2.
Okay. So the white is the one that carries all of the, and obviously that's the most broadly sold.
And so that's got the tall versions, that's got pocketless versions, that's got button down collar, non-button down collar.
Yes.
So that's just
you have
expanding
all these options you can pick
the main winner
in ordering. Okay. So I'm curious because you talk about when you were coming up with this idea and you were 13 years old, you kind of came up with this, like, how can I combine my soccer jersey with a shirt? And then on your mission, you had this experience as well. So you don't come from a family of manufacturers. I'm just curious how you came up with we really need to expand our sizing, our range of fits for people. Is that based on feedback, research, or just this was just something you came up with? Like, we need to have a really broad range.
Probably the answer is yes. It's sticking the finger in the air and being like, what are we going to do today? We've become a little bit more scientific and methodical about those choices now. It's like, oh, we get requests to make women's stuff all the time. Do we have women's yet? No. We probably could sell a little bit of women's. Would we do a great job? I don't think so. So at first you get inundated with, hey, you should do this. You should do this.
Sure.
And it's all well-meaning. And I think people are genuinely sharing their personal preferences. But the hard part about doing a best value brand, which we're saying we are, is you kind of got to stay in the middle of the lane where there are much cooler brands that do bespoke type designs, perfect fit. It's like they're whipping out the world's most innovative new fabrics. It's like, we're not that, less so. Your question that started this all off, where do I fall? I think it's more like, where does and collar fall in your wardrobe? Like thinking of where we sit, where it's like, I really wish that we were Lululemon. We're not. They're so cool. We're not. We're function. We're not fashion. And so I think what this is me trying to get at, okay, can we serve 80% of America? American men is what we're saying. It's like, we can give away some of the extremes. It's like, there are very few people who just can't find a really good fit between our athletic and slim fits. Like, we cater to most normal bodies of you walking through. And we feel like we do our job if we cater to 80% of America, not to everyone. But if an opportunity presents itself to expand upon those 80% or go from 80 to 85, it's like, oh, we'll look at it if we think sell-through can warrant it. And so we'll dip our toes in the water. So like Talls was the first expansion, just in white. We live in Utah. I didn't realize that there are as many tall, skinny bodies as there are. But there are. And you just look in this room, me, you, Solomon.
Your fit. Yeah. I don't fit in that. No, Solomon, yes. You, yes. How tall are you? 6'4"?
6'4".
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just a very common body type here. And it's like, oh, we sell a lot to Utah. So we came out with 2,000, 3,000 units of Talls. They sold out really fast and they were less cannibalistic than we thought. It's like, oh, it's additive.
Oh.
Okay, we're fine selling out. Now let's go again. So all that to be said, that was way longer than you asked. It's like, okay, when we launch something, can we serve most body types? If yes, great. If that opportunity proves to be red hot, or there's one that we're missing that we think we can test, let's dip our toe in the water. We're fine stocking out immediately. Let's just see if it's a winner or a loser. We've had plenty of losers, and so we're trying to learn from the past where we ordered 40,000 pants. It's like, oh, that's going to be 3 years of inventory. We don't want to do that again. So let's order 12 days of inventory of Talls and see if it's a real thing. So I don't even know what your question was, and I'm getting so just all over the place on this.
It's great. No, it's fantastic. I have a lot more questions about that, and I love your marketing, and I love your messaging, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go on. As we start talking more, if we started off on the company, we're gonna rewind a little bit and go back to your kind of where you started and what you really wanted to be when you grew up. Maybe it was a shirt manufacturer. I don't know.
No, I know exactly what I wanted to be. Well, there were two. One, to be a pro soccer player. I found out.
You grew up in Utah?
No, I grew up in Southeast Asia. So my dad did management consulting. So hence the dress shirts every day. So I was in Beijing for 8 years, Taiwan for 3, Utah for my 6th grade year of school, Hong Kong for 5 years, back to Utah my senior year of high school. So I'm kind of a Utahn and kind of not in any way.
And which languages do you speak?
I was pretty good at Mandarin until I served a mission in the Philippines. And I'm not smart enough to know 3 really well. So
you had to let one go?
Yeah, so Chinese kind of got the boot.
So you're still good at Mandarin and... No,
yeah. So English is...
the one you...
Yep. And so, yeah, grew up in Southeast Asia. Never thought... I didn't love entrepreneurship. I have a brother who's 12 years older than me, who's an entrepreneur. And that lifestyle never seemed very fun to me. I was like, man, it is a holiday and you are on your laptop coding. He's a technical guy, so it's completely different. Like this you're totally stressed. This does not seem fun.
Does he do that? Does he code? Does he find, like, if he had a choice to go see the next Mission Impossible movie or to code,
he'll bring his laptop into the theater. That's not even a joke. So, yeah,
that's probably the right answer.
That's exactly what he would do.
Gotcha.
And I just never thought that was that great, like, of a lifestyle. I was like, that doesn't seem that fun to me. So I wanted to be a pro soccer player. I found out I wasn't good enough, but I was good enough to be a Division I soccer player.
I know, which is amazing. Played at the University of Kentucky, finished up at Utah Valley University.
Yep.
Excellent.
So I knew I wanted to play Division I soccer. That's why I didn't go to BYU, Brigham Young University. Every single person I'm related to is a Cougar. I woke up every morning to rise and shout. I actually could have gone to BYU for much cheaper than either of those other schools. But I really wanted to play soccer as long as I could.
Yeah, that's great.
So I found out I couldn't do that. But the other dream that was always adjacent was to be the head of soccer for Nike. I mean, it's a very specific dream. So the global soccer department at Nike, that was my dream. I wanted to head that up. So, I mean, I could tell you anything about, I'm a sucker for marketing. You tell me, you've watched Sandlot, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
So when he brings out, Benny the Jet Rodriguez brings out the PF Flyers and they make a kid run faster and jump higher, I listen to that. I buy that. I'm in.
And it definitely works.
Yeah. And it's like, hey, you tell me a soccer cleat is going to help with its little fins, is going to help me curve the ball 12% better. It's like, oh, great. So much so that I actually started a blog.
I know. And this is a great story.
This is my favorite business. I could talk about this one for way longer.
The name of this company was?
soccerreviews.com.
By the way, you mentioned that your older brother, you're like, I don't want to live that lifestyle. But your older brother is significant in your business life.
Oh,
he's given you all of this great advice, including he was relevant in starting this blog.
Oh yeah, he wants to be on my board of advisors, and he very much is. So yeah, I can tell this story in less than 60 seconds. My parent, you're a soccer dad.
Yeah.
Do you know how much a nice pair of soccer cleats costs? A professional pair?
$200, $250.
You're good. Yep.
Yeah.
Right in that range. And actually, the inflation when I was playing in high school is like 180, and then it slowly crept up to 200. So now that's found another $50 on that. But you're right on the dot. And I got Nike's new Wayne Rooney cleat in 2008. That was $200, and I got it. My parents bought it for me. 2 months later, Adidas came out with their special cleat for Lionel Messi. I was like, Mom, Dad, I need this. And they're like, well, the other pair is perfectly fine. But what's wrong? And I was like,
nice.
No, but I need it. And they're like, okay, well, you can work for it. So I started doing odd jobs, horrible, just blue collar garbage jobs. And I'd get $5 here, $10 there for cleaning out trash cans. I didn't do it in a business oriented way. I was just looking to get $200. Like, this is horrible. I think
that's a lot of trash cans.
Yeah. I think I quit $120 in, and my brother was like, hey, you spend all your time talking about soccer or looking at soccer cleats and stuff anyway. You might as well blog about it. And one day maybe Nike or Adidas will send you those free cleats. So he set me up on WordPress at the time. I was like, just start writing, start blogging. Looking back at it, I was like, I was an early influencer.
How old were you at this point?
So 13.
This is when you're 13 years old. And did you have some proclivity for writing?
Yeah. So I do love writing. And so that came easy to me. And so I just sat down. There would be op-eds. I'd be like, hey, at first it was very equipment oriented, but then we needed to churn out more content. So then it became a little bit broader. It wasn't just anytime Nike would release their new cleat or new color for the existing cleat. It'd be like, hey, once a week, let's talk about and take pictures from Getty Images. interesting cleats are players around the world wearing.
So Golf Digest does a little segment called What's in Their Bag. So they do a professional golfer and they do all the clubs.
Yeah.
Something like this for cleats. What the player is wearing. Okay, so give me can you give me what an early blog entry might sound like?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the very early ones were, and I was covering brands that you don't even know exist because they were the ones who would give me information early on, the press releases and stuff. Oh. So half of them are bankrupt now, but there was this Australian brand that was made out of kangaroo leather, but it was anyway, they're
called
Nomis, Nomis. Nomis. They don't exist.
Miss. Yeah. Was it supposed to be like you're never going to miss?
I didn't think about that until I said it and you reacted that way, and it probably was. And I'd say, hey, no one actually cares about this. The people want to know what Nike and Adidas are coming out with. But hey, Nomis has come out with their new 2020, the new 2014 yellow Bumblebee edition cleat. Here are the details. They weigh this much. They have this stud configuration. This is what the upper is made of. The insole is removable, not removable. So I wouldn't even have the product in hand. And then it evolved into I would get the product, and then I would do a review, and then I tried to make it an objective type review where it's like, hey, on as standardized of a scale as possible, how does this stack up against other things? The big breakthrough came when we started releasing unreleased images of next year's catalog. And Nike and Adidas started to get very nice to us to stop. That's the first time I've ever given into bribery. I don't think I've ever said that publicly. It wasn't real bribery, but they're like, hey.
It was like light. Yeah. Bribery light.
Because there's no legal recourse. I was just,
So I
was just reposting stuff that I don't know who would email them into us, but people would email in and be like, hey, this is Adidas' new 2026 cleat. If we were in today, this is what it looks like.
So some anonymous source was sending you,
and lots of different. It was almost crowdsourced. And
gotcha.
For example,
like stuff that was going to come out that hadn't been.
Yeah. Okay. And I didn't ever think about. I was like, oh, where are they procuring this? Until I was committed to Division I soccer, and my senior year of high school. It's like November, so I'm still 10 months out from reporting to campus. I got Nike's catalog for next year's equipment for me to choose my gear from. So it could have been sources like that, if that makes sense.
Of course, absolutely.
So for my freshman season at the University of Kentucky, I got three free pairs. Yeah, Nike school. I got 3 free pairs of cleats, soft ground, firm ground, and then another pair of firm ground. We don't have to go into the details. Mm-hmm. And so I got Nike's 2020, at the time, 2013 catalog in 2012. Hey, these are the colorways. Which one do you want? Do you want the blue, green? Do you want the orange, yellow, whatever? So that stuff was existing and people would just email it to us. So we started posting that and we created this unreleased boot calendar. So we were getting 200,000-300,000 unique site visits per month, which at the time was pretty good. And really rich quality traffic. Looking to see what next year's boot calendar would look like. So then I'm like, I don't want to buy cleats this year because that colorway next February looks awesome. So yeah, it went really well. Never monetized it. That's my big lesson.
I was just going to ask.
Yeah. So we did affiliate links and made a couple bucks here and there. Technically, I sold the business. I think I sold it for $20,000. Mm-hmm. There were offers when I was in 10th grade for like $250,000-$300,000. I should have taken the money and run.
Companies were offering to buy your.
Yeah. So.
And why didn't you sell at that point?
I don't know. I just loved it so much. And I guess I never built that one for, what I loved about that one, it was never built for money. It was built to get me free cleats, and I got so many free cleats. We ended up getting 15, 16 employees on that one.
Really?
All doing it for free. People just like me around the world. So we had, I think, 10 technically nationalities represented. Whereas like, a Scottish kid, he just wants free cleats too. So if he would write X number of pieces per month, he would get Y number of equipment pieces. So cleats or gloves or whatever. per month in exchange. And like as a kid, that's the best payment there is.
That was pretty amazing.
So I think I loved that one because it was passion. But if I could have had 250 grand of my own cash in whatever year that was, 2010, as a 10th grader, I would not be living in the home I'm living in now. But that was, anyway, that was the business. And that is what helped inform, what is End Color today in terms of, or not inform, but that gave me the seed money, just selling it for, a couple bucks. I was able to put all of that into the first PO at End Color. But I actually had the idea for End Color at the same time as the reviews thing.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the cash where the content was free. I paid whatever, $5 a month to WordPress to host the site. But I got MOQs. I was in Hong Kong at the time. I got MOQs for Under Armour dress shirts because Under Armour had just come out. And my parents' allowance didn't cover 10,000 units at the time of spandex dress shirts. So that's why I went with the blogging idea.
So you were doing research. You had figured out this is what I want to do. But why did you want to create a dress shirt? What was you're 13 years old, right?
So Under Armour.
Did you have to wear a dress shirt for some specific purpose?
So Sundays and then school uniforms. Those weren't. Yeah. So school uniforms in Hong Kong.
Gotcha.
Their British society school system. And so I'd wear dress shirts, wear them to church. So I was wearing them for whatever reason. My, pubescent, my biggest problem as an uncomfortable 13-year-old were my dress shirts. So I was like, and Under Armour had just come out. I was walking around the streets of Hong Kong wearing, do you remember when Under Armour came out? They had the turtleneck with the UA, very prominent here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was the first time I ever really felt synthetic fabric. I was like, this is awesome. I'd wear that under my school uniform. I was such a bozo. I feel bad for my parents having me walk around the streets of Hong Kong just wearing spandex.
But were you wearing spandex alone? Were you wearing the turtleneck by itself, or you were wearing?
No. I'd wear it underneath.
Isn't it pretty hot and humid in Southeast Asia?
Yeah, it is. But I just loved that fabric.
Oh my God.
And they did have technically the cooling one too.
I know,
but it doesn't cool you really.
Gear and the heat gear and nice still.
So it was ridiculous.
Under Armour stuff,
and I just was like, man, this is awesome. So if I was doing a pitch deck to you today, you're an investor in 2009 or whenever I first created the Wicca Sweat logo. That was my brand name, Wicca Sweat. It was an Under Armour dress shirt. I would have told you the Under Armour dress shirt. And it's a polyester spandex dress shirt. So I had the idea, went with the soccer route, soccer blogging route, which I'm very glad I did. But it was always there, Wicca Sweat. I'd talk about it kind of jokingly every time I'd have to throw a dress shirt on. I'm like, hey, Wicca Sweat. Then I went on a LDS mission to the Philippines where I wore a dress shirt every day for 2 years. It was the usual cotton dress shirt that just wasn't built for a sweaty 19-year-old trudging around humid Philippines.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that Wicca Sweat idea is not a bad one. I came home and I was at the Utah Valley University, and you do school projects, and they're like, hey, do a case study or a marketing plan on a company of your choice. It's like, well, I might as well do it on my own company instead of just doing another one for Nike that no one will ever see. And I love Nike. So I started the business. I went to that same older brother. I was like, hey, I want Wicca Sweat to happen. How do I make it happen? Because he, for a little bit, dabbled with sourcing stuff from China, like as an independent consultant. I was like, hey, I've got a dress shirt that I like the look of. I've got the RSL, Real Salt Lake soccer jersey. Can we just...
In that material.
Yeah. So that... I wish we could talk for 30 minutes about the design process, but that was the design process. I said, take this fabric, take this dress shirt, smash it together.
You wish we could talk about it for 30 minutes, but there's not 30 minutes of material.
No, there's literally what I just said. That was it. Less than 10 seconds. I said, soccer jersey, good-looking dress shirt, smush it together. And yeah.
You know how many times we hear on this podcast about business owners and entrepreneurs who make their like product decisions or marketing decisions or whatever, especially early on, just on like a gut, like no data, nothing, just a gut feel. We had guests on the other day. It's a company called Ivy City Co. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
very familiar.
Local.
I've spent a lot of money there.
Okay. That's also a familiar theme. Whenever I say Ivy City Co., people are like, oh my gosh, I've spent a lot of money there every time. Anyway, so that's what they said. Like one of their early decisions about how much inventory they should order, they were like, oh, like 2,400 units. Does that sound? Yeah, that sounds good. Like, no, I mean, just a gut feel on it. Yeah. That's kind of yours. There wasn't necessarily, well, maybe in your program at UVU, were you like a business marketing?
Yeah, both. I don't actually remember. One was a major, one was a minor. I don't know which one was which. Business marketing. Yeah.
They're all mixed up in there. Okay. So maybe you did some market research in your project about like, 80% of the country men in this country in this age range, none of that occurred.
I guess
that what you're telling me?
It technically probably occurred in a paper.
Yeah.
But that one was to get a grade and not, I don't remember a single. It wasn't real.
So this was academic market.
Yeah.
There's academic market research so you can get an A. By the way, if you didn't know, 4.0 student, right?
Decent. Yeah, decent grades.
That's 4.0s.
Yeah.
And what was the specific award you received as you were a student athlete and you got a 4.0? You were the honors.
You get a couple things here and there, like all conference, academic all conference and stuff. Never athletic all conference, unfortunately, which is what you actually kind of sign up for.
You still get to say all conference.
Yeah. That's what I tell people. Yeah, I'm like, I'm all conference for grades.
You had a high, did you tell people that too? I had a high soccer IQ.
Yeah. That's what I say. Yeah.
I'm familiar. I know.
I'm a great locker room presence is what coaches would always say, which is a compliment, but I kind of also inferred the insult where it's like, no one has ever said I was a great on-field presence.
Would you, so let me ask you this question. Would you rather be a superstar who nobody likes? Or would you rather be like a good contributing player and people gravitate toward you?
I mean, the way you put it that way, for sure the second.
Did you ever play with guys like that?
Oh, yeah, of course. I think that's the interesting, and I had a specific moment that I've never really shared, but it's this interesting thing, the funnel. You talk about the total number of quantity of players in like the U.S. soccer system. Mm-hmm. You go from basically every kid almost nowadays plays soccer.
I know.
So true. The local rec leagues, at least the city. And it's like, okay, let's call it, there's 20 million youth soccer players and 10 million youth soccer players in America. Then however many quit along the way or choose something else, whatever percentage make it to high school. Of those, that percentage that make it to high school, I think the number is 3% or 2% make it to an NCAA collegiate and whatever smaller percentage of Division I. Mm-hmm. So it's this interesting thing where everyone was the star on their team. Mm-hmm. So everyone was that guy, even if they're likable or unlikable. But everyone was the star. And then you get to this role where everyone was the star, and it is this like amazing separation of the wheat and the chaff, where it's like, in terms of personality,
sure,
where it's like, okay, it's really humbling because unless you're the best in America, you're probably not going to start or star as a freshman. Mm-hmm. It's like a big humble pill to swallow.
Absolutely.
When you're the best for 18 years prior.
And then you're not.
Yeah. And it's like, and at first, and this is normal for everyone, you're like, the coach, it's the coach's fault. For the first time, it's the coach's fault. It's like, no, it's not. The University of Kentucky's made an Elite Eight in the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Why weren't you on the field? Like,
it's not me. It's coach. It's political. And so it's like, I remember there was this really big inflection point in my life, which is the specific question you asked.
Yeah.
Where I didn't play very much against I forget what they were ranked at the time. Number 6, number 2, number 1, Akron.
Akron, Ohio.
Akron, Ohio. It's a great soccer school.
Were they the Zips?
The Zips, you're good.
Yeah.
They won a number of national championships back to back to back. And I think I played like 5 minutes that game of 90. You can do the math. That's not very many. I just returned home from my mission, and I was like, I went to a porta potty because all my friends and family are at the game.
Oh.
We won. We're all celebrating, but like I can't find it in my heart to like I'm a little spiteful. Go to the porta potty. I think I'm crying. Maybe I'm like dry heaving. Like, this is the worst. I'm in
All the emotions.
yeah. And then I'm like, I like snap. I'm like, and it's very selfish, by the way. Whatever those feelings were, it's like, it's selfish because I'm not happy for my team. What is it called? Abundance growth mindset.
Yeah,
versus,
gratitude, all those things.
I'm the opposite of that at this moment. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm in a porta potty. It reeks in here. But would I rather be exactly what you said? Would I rather be, well, actually the opposite. Not like you said, would I rather be a sub on a team on a good, really good team that just beat someone great, or I'd rather be a sub because I'm still going to be a sub on a losing team, which is what I was thinking in my heart at the time. It's like, oh, I wish we lost to Akron because I wasn't on the field. So I'm like, okay, of course I'd rather be on a good team than a bad team. After that, I felt like I became a really good teammate. I was always a nice guy. Sure. So like internally, I was like, you know what? I want to be a part of winning
You're
teams.
super competitive.
Yeah.
But you had this transition.
Yeah, I know. No, seriously.
In the porta potty.
Yeah, in the porta potty. Yeah, transition to the porta potty. I was like, okay, I can be a great teammate. And yeah, it really was like one of the more important moments in my life. And it's really embarrassing to admit. So I don't know why I just told you.
No, it's a great story. But, it's a great story. I think you should lean into that. I mean, there's a book in there.
So, there is, the porta potty.
Lessons in the porta potty. Like, there's a great story. Yeah. There's a great story in there. In fact, you should use that. You should be plastering that across your company.
Maybe I'll do that one.
Like, I think that's really good. So you got me now started on thinking about soccer in the U.S. because I have significant thoughts about soccer in the U.S.
Very broken.
Oh, yeah. And I don't want us to go down that path, but I do. So we're going to do a little split here.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about soccer in the U.S., but don't let me forget to get back to...
We can tie it into business.
The lessons. Yeah, it's going to be the lessons that you've learned in all of those experiences and how that has helped you. I know you've had some difficult times with Ann Caller.
Yep.
And I just want to understand if there were lessons that you learned from your soccer and athletics experience that helped you overcome and kind of put you into the position you are today.
Yeah, I mean, one is just you got to keep going. You can't quit. That's probably the biggest one where it's like, I don't know if my parents ever had a conversation with me or if I love soccer more than just about anybody. I know everyone says that. I genuinely love soccer. I still play in the mornings. I can't get away from it. My wife, who played Division I soccer, makes fun of me.
Did she play at UVU as well?
Yep. So that's where we met. She had a better college career than I did. Much better. And so, I love soccer. So maybe it came from me. But I feel like my parents at least established an environment where it's like, hey, you don't quit. Like they were never the ones dragging me to soccer. I never once remember being like, mom or dad are like, you got to go to practice. So I know I'm unique in that way. Mm-hmm. I have a 3-year-old daughter right now who we have to drag to her swim lessons that are only 30 minutes once a week. So I don't ever remember that for me in terms of soccer. Mm-hmm. So whether it came from them or me, but it's like, oh yeah, you don't quit when it's hard. Because I could have quit this business tons of times. There are lots of times I wish I did.
Yeah.
So I mean that's one where it's like, hey, things get hard. It's like, okay, the only way out is through. It's like I got them.
The obstacle is the way.
Yeah.
Tell us one of those experiences with Hand Caller where it was you were on the precipice of deciding maybe I'm going to start my blog again.
Yeah, I'm
out of here.
I'll do a funny one and a worse one.
Okay, perfect.
Funny one now in hindsight. It was like our third shipment, and you were just talking about the Ivy City Co. crew. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was trying to cash flow the business as a college student playing college soccer, so I didn't have money. So I'd place a PO. I'd sell out 80% of those units on hand, and I'd place the next PO. So then I'd be out of stock for 3-4 months. It's not the right way, but it's like, it's the responsible way. So I was doing that. So let's call it our third shipment. So I put all my money. So I get a little bit more, but then my POs would get bigger and bigger. So it's not like I'm taking anything home. Mm-hmm. So now it's the third or fourth PO. So it's everything. All the money in the business is into this PO, comes back yellow. I don't see any yellow here that matches that. Honestly, it's probably, this isn't yellow, but the wood behind us.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not white. Let me just say that.
This is supposed to be
it's supposed to be
white shirt.
And
it's not.
Yeah. And our terms with our manufacturer at the time were everything 100% prepaid. So all my cash is already overseas. And I received this PO. I open it. I'm like, this thing's cream. And I message them and they're like, no.
Just a lovely
Yeah. And they're in China and they did say almost in that tone digitally. They're like, hey, actually we did research and cream is very in the US for US consumers.
Very popular.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, no, it's not. It literally, it is not. And so,
this part, your manufacturer says, hey, look, we did some research.
Yeah, it's popular in America. Like, oh. So I got 3,000 yellow shirts at the time.
Oh, no.
And then I was like, okay, well, we can either just fold up shop because I'm out 10 grand or whatever the number was at the time, or we can try to do something with these. So we put them on the website. We listed them as prototype, or there was also a way to be dishonest and you just sell them and hope no one notices that they're yellow.
Yes.
If they were, I'll be honest, if they were like semi close to white, I probably would have done that. Like it was an eggshell.
Yeah.
But these things
like
were yellow.
Our newest color.
Yeah. And so we said prototype. We discounted the heck out of them. It was basically cost plus a couple bucks. Mm-hmm. That was our fastest inventory turn ever. We were very upfront. And we said, these are not white in the product description. We just found out we had a price sensitive customer. So to your early question, if we do research, do we just gut feeling? Mostly we try to follow sales data. Customer research is only good until their wallets have to come out. So it's like, let's see how people vote with their dollars. And people voted on a discount as the first time we discounted.
Well, I am going to propose another option there. Like maybe it was the discount. Maybe that's why it was your faster sell. Or maybe your manufacturer product research was right.
Yeah. I've never thought of that. They knew. Wow. You know what? That's what it is.
So there you go.
We could have done full price.
Another.
Yeah. Well, that was the funny thing. We got customer service tickets really like genuinely probably for 18 months after, more trickling in at the end. It's like, hey, do you have any more prototype shirts? We are not. And I was like, no, we're never ordering prototype shirts again. We want white shirts. But people genuinely ask for prototype shirts.
I love that.
And
I mean, there you know. Maybe you should have a prototype section.
Apparently. So
that's a great story.
That's more of the funny one, and we made it through.
So you just figured a way out. You just didn't quit.
Yeah.
You just like, there's a solution here. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
And it's like, hey, we can. And we said no returns because we were so upfront at the beginning
on the prototype.
So and it's like, hey, we covered our bases. If no one bought things, bought things. If no one bought those things, then I probably wouldn't be here on this podcast today. It's like, hey. They bought them, so we kept going on.
Yes.
Worst ones. Last year was a horrible year.
Really?
Actually, pretty good business year. Strong business year.
Uh-huh.
We've been able to grow every year, calendar year. We've never had a down year in terms of top line. Bottom line has continued to increase. Last year's bottom line was the best. Last year was hard. Our bank shut down, so we had quite, as I said, we were responsible at first with the cash flow and placing POs. Not responsible during COVID when we're just growing so fast, and there was so much free debt out there. Yeah. I guess really easy money, I should say.
Yeah.
When you annualize, the merchant cash advances, so you pay back your debt as fast or as slow as your sales are. So it's pretty attractive because, like, hey, if I have a down day, I don't have a fixed 10 grand payment that I have to. Or down month, I don't have a fixed 10 grand payment. It's like, I'll only pay 1 grand. But if you have a big month, I'll pay 80 grand.
Sure.
And And we just happened to have all those type of months at the time, which is really good, but it just wasn't, the debt was structured wrong for us. And I just kept stacking, and I was like, we're growing too fast. We can't get money in. We can't get inventory fast enough.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's really cool. But when you like strip it back, it's like a big old skeleton in the closet. We've hired a few years ago, our finance and ops guy, Mark. He's my best friend. He's from investment banking. He opened up the closet. I was like, oh my gosh, you tricked me. He's still here and he's fixed it all.
Did you tell him, no, it's just a prototype.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. The bank did research. This is really attractive. It's really in right now. So he's the one who's like whittled it away and restructured, but almost an evolution. So we were at like a Wayflyer as the debt provider who does that type of debt that I said. And then we moved, we couldn't go to traditional banks yet. So there was this nice in-between ground, a bank called Ampla. They had raised $500 million. So they had tons of money on the balance sheet from JP Morgan, Goldman, and they were lending mostly to consumer businesses in that type of structure. It was like a quasi structure. Anyway, turns out they folded because they were just giving out too much bad debt. And they gave too much to us. We just happened to make it through. And they're like, hey, you need to pay back $2 million tomorrow. Or actually they said yesterday. And it's like, we can't do that. Yeah, you got to give us some time. Like, no, we really need it. I was actually on the cover of New York Times business section because of this. Fun. I always thought I'd be on the New York Times for something cool, but it's funny. They sent the photographer in, and they're like, okay, do a picture at the office. So I'm smiling. I'm like, this is cool. And they're like, well, isn't it like a sad story? You should like frown. So the picture is me like, they're like, act glum.
Very subdued.
Yeah. And anyway, it's so funny. But the bank shut down. They're like, okay, well, shoot. So we went back to Wayflyer, and we're working with KeyBank and Zions Bank and other banks. Like, we're like, make this thing fast. Like, we need help. And they, traditional banks just move slower.
Yes.
They're like, we need 5 months, 4 months to do this, to refinance it. So we're like, okay, go back to the well with Wayflyer, refinance it. And we're paying $65K a week in debt pay down, debt repayments. $65K a week. And we're just cash flowing that. So our debt line is going down, which is great. It's like, man, we were just having to fund that through profitable weeks of sales.
Yeah.
So like, oh, that was horrible. And in the middle of it, Mark broke his ankle playing soccer with me in an adult league. And so then I'm having to deal with all this refinancing. And
this is Mark, your finance.
Mark, our finance guy. My most selfish thought since the porta potty day was we were playing soccer and I see him break his ankle. I can tell it's bad. I'm like, please no, not during the banking, not for me. I've told them this. Yeah, and he makes fun of me for it. And then I'm like, man, the bank shut down. Now I got to deal with this thing on my own while we got to do all the other stuff in the business and sell. So that happened. We had too much bloat in terms of employees and mismanagement of employees. I'm putting that on myself. We didn't have a great Jordan, head of HR, and we never set expectations of what success was. And it's like, oh, when things are easy, everyone looked good.
Yeah.
But when he's got to start working and there were never expectations set up at the beginning, it's like, oh, then just got a bunch of mediocre. So that was totally on me. But we had to change the team. Total drastic change of team. We switched 3PLs. I told you. So that was, the process started in February or March.
That's not a small thing.
No. And again, Mark was the main one overseeing that. We had help, but, and so we moved 3PLs, and I was like, that is tough. You got to move whatever 200,000 units or whatever number we had on hand in that exact day. Because we'd started diverting containers to the other one. 200,000 stuff we got to move from someone who doesn't, and I can't blame them, our old 3PL provider. It's like, oh, I'm not going to prioritize you when you switch 3PLs.
Right.
So I no ill will. It's like,
sure,
I'm going to ship out the people who are paying me money weekly.
Right.
And we'd been with them for 4 years. So they did it. They were pretty good about it. But it's still a hard process no matter what. You onboard with a new 3PL. So all of this, if you're talking reorg team, bank, and 3PL change.
Yeah.
All happened.
All in one cycle.
But yeah, one cycle. It's like, that was hard.
Yeah.
We are so much better now because of it. Cause like, okay, let's just sort it out. We'll make something happen. Yeah.
Under all of those difficulties, though, you're still revenue growth and profitability.
Yeah. Revenue was very small. I think we grew last year like 8% top line. Bottom line was really good because of those
Changes.
the changes, but the debt pay down.
Got you. Yes.
Like interest. We're paying so much in interest, just paying it off. Like think about your 30-year term loan on a home and it gets condensed into 1 year.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yesterday. It gets condensed into yesterday.
So like artificially, our bottom line looked awesome last year. For the first time, we're like, man, we got to do some creative like tax loopholes. And
so is Mark working on that?
yeah. It was all legal, by the way. But this year, it's like, people have asked me, tariffs. And we also switched manufacturing early last year from China to Ethiopia. A lot of that. Where I was talking about the line seeing Brooks Brothers right next to ours.
Yes. So okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in that.
Sorry. So there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the answer you gave me. One is, I want to talk about the switch to manufacturing, but first let me talk about the people.
Yeah.
And you grew up, you obviously grew up in team sports. You know the importance of culture.
Yep.
You know how one bad apple, I mean, it's a saying for the reason, ruins the bunch. So tell me about the lessons learned, because you talked about, it was really good during the good times. It's really easy during the good times, but then you found yourself in mediocrity with people. How did you recognize that, and how did you rectify it?
I should have had Mark come on here because he's much sharper than I am. And honestly, it was him coming down because I was like, hey, we got to fix this because essentially the team is not doing anything. And I try to do different, like exciting. Okay, let's do like a sprint. Let's try to do stuff. It's like, oh, that's not a good business. If I have to motivate you as a sprint just to do your job, like it wasn't like going above and beyond. So we basically affixed P&Ls to every person with their sign off. And it's like, okay, does this look right? Basically to detach emotion from it all. Like, hey, Frank, this is what you're in charge of. Do you agree? You run wholesale sales. Okay. Then top line, you don't get credit for if one of our if Amazon does well, or one of our direct to consumer ads does well. It's like, you got to go find new business to outfit the eHub team or whatever with embroidered stuff. Okay. This is what gross margin is. This is what your pay is. You know what your pay is. We know what your pay is. These are any other incremental costs. Do you agree? Okay. Now you're in charge of your P&L. If there's positive ROI, there's a spot for you. If there's negative ROI, and not for the record, we were coming from zero accountability. So don't think we were the,
You brought the hammer.
Yeah. So it was pretty, it was tough. But that's why we wanted sign off. Like, hey, are we looking at it the right way? Because we're not going to survive the $65K a week pay down if we've got dead weight. And so, yeah, we attached that to everyone as much as we could. Some roles are harder to quantify than that, but for the most part, you can kind of come to an agreement. It's like, okay, we need positive ROI from every single person. And then
did anybody look at that? And
we actually, at the same time, I was going to say, we said, hey, look, we'll pay 4.5 months severance. If you don't want to even, because again, laying the blame on myself, we didn't come from this culture of accountability. You didn't sign up for it. So if it's not what you want, we'll give you positive. We'll try to help you find a spot. We'll pay 4.5 months of pay. You don't even have to try. And actually, most of the people that were in that conversation actually opted out, which I think is telling very much.
Sure, for sure.
Where it's like, hey, totally fine. Let's all shake hands. But for where we want to go with this business, we don't want to grow top line 5 or 10% every year. It's like, oh yeah, this year we should grow 30, 40%. Next year I'd like to do the same and more, just like we were before. So it's a very hard conversation to have that when it's not the beginning. But to your point about soccer, my favorite coaches were, I'm okay with yellers. I know some kids don't respond well to that. Again, I think it's because I love the game so much. But I think about all of like the formative coaches in my career, all of them would be probably defined as the classical yellers. And I heard it from all different cultures. I had Brazilians, Scots, Bosnians, people from Hong Kong. And anyway, all that to be said, it's like, I think the reason I valued those is they were so upfront and honest. It's like, hey, you're not. And then where I struggled moving to the US, because I think I was a little bit less direct in feedback, or I think, for the record, I'm not a yeller. And I think the coaches that yell for the sake of yelling, that's not.
I was just going to say, there has to be some substance underneath
because I did experience that here. And I'm like, okay, that's not positive.
Yeah.
But I think the direct, so Jeremy Laughlin was his name. So Scottish guy. And he's one of my favorite coaches of all time. He was a youth coach. And it's because he was very upfront. It was mean. I mean, I heard lots of colorful language.
Call it friendly?
No. But it was like, hey, because you're not playing. And he wouldn't deal with parents. That's another thing I'm passionate about. It's like, hey, I'm not going to, in these conversations, respectfully, I'm not going to deal with your spouse. Like if your spouse is complaining about the new accountability, it's like, your spouse doesn't work here. You work here. I'm going to talk with you. Anyway, I always appreciated if a kid had a problem, he's not going to talk to the parents. It's like, teach the kid as a fourth grader. It's like, hey, coach, why am I not playing? And he'll talk with you. And I was always, all that to be said, the takeaway is, it's like, hey, upfront accountability, just be honest rather than beating around the bush. It's like, instead of you asking, hey, am I doing a good job? You're doing a great job. It's like, hey, these are the things that you're doing well. These are the things you're not doing well. And anyway, this is now getting philosophical.
Well, it's difficult. You're a good guy. Like you're a nice guy. And those can be difficult conversations because you don't want anybody to dislike you.
That's a flaw for sure of mine.
So that objective conversation can be challenging. You don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. You want them to feel good about themselves. You want to build people up. But you also are running a business. And there has to be some accountability. Is that the major change that you've made, kind of this accountability structure
for sure
in your personnel? Tell me about the business has evolved, and instead of now making decisions based on gut and you manufacture, how do you utilize data in your business decision making process now?
Trying to do more, but I think we're trying to do a blend of quantitative and qualitative, where we'll send out surveys. We sent out our first one to our top, I think, 1,000 pattern shirt customers. So we sell lots of whites, but we have patterns, got a diverse catalog. And our business gets better as those adjacent product categories take off as a percentage of sales. If we can sell more patterns, all while white continues to climb like absolute number, but not being overly reliant on white, if that makes sense. Anyway,
sure.
So like we did qualitative, we sent our top 1,000 pattern shirt customers. We said, hey, here are 15 patterns that we're looking at. Which ones would you buy today, not buy today? Which ones do you love, hate, like? So again, very objective or subjective. So we sent that out. But then we also use platforms. There's a local company called Particle, if you're familiar. And it's like, okay, why don't we just look at the 10 best dress shirt sellers in America of patterns and see what their top 5 patterns that they sell. You can see number of units that they sell, MSRP versus average selling price. We should probably have the similar ones because you find themes. Most of them aren't like wacky. They've got Homer Simpson's face on them. It's like, oh, it's an orange and blue gingham or whatever. If all top 5 dress shirt sellers in America have that, why don't we? So hopefully you see alignment between the qualitative and quantitative for those decisions. That's just one example, but trying to do it much, much more. And I think we're getting better at it. I think we're making fewer, bigger errors when it comes to decision making now, which is helpful.
Yeah.
Notice I said fewer, not none.
Not none.
But it's like,
fewer. Yeah.
Let's just analyze, with PO placement. We're not going to buy 40,000 pairs of pants when last year we sold 8,000. We don't want 6 years or whatever, 4 years, 5 years of inventory worth on hand. Let's not do that. So a lot of the stuff is more just, I think, table stakes that we should have done from the beginning. It's like, so we are getting better with it. And I could much more now than 3 years ago. I could tell you average pick times, average fulfillment times.
Yeah.
So we're much more dialed, and I give Mark a lot of credit for that.
Gotcha.
He's for sure an operator, and I'm trying to kind of ride on his coattails.
And he's recovered from...
He's recovered. He's fully healthy, and now he's training for the Boston Marathon.
Oh, really?
So much so, he's running too much now. It's lunchtime, and
he's out for
a run. I'm like, hey, man.
You're like, come on.
Yeah, I need you.
To get some...
Yeah. For lunch, not for work. He still works too hard, but yeah, he's recovered.
One of those guys.
Yeah, one of those guys.
If you look at yourself, how long have you been running this company?
We started officially with the state of Utah March 3rd, 2017.
Okay. So 8 years ago, if you look at yourself as this founder, CEO, and how you ran a company, and you look at yourself today, what are the differences? It doesn't have to be major differences. What are the differences between you as a startup CEO to where you are today?
I mean, hopefully you don't ask any of the people who've left the company, because they'll say none or worse.
Yeah.
But I do feel much better and much more capable. Back to what we said. It's like trying to have more frank conversations. Because I think the most irresponsible thing to do is do what I have always done and prioritize you liking me over like a good decision, where you're not going to benefit from that as an employee who's going to leave,
right?
Because I wasn't brave enough to have a conversation. So I mean that part, using data to guide, that's all the stuff you've said. Like those are the core pieces. And I would say the last thing that I'm trying to get to, and we still have a pretty small team, but if you've heard of Groons, the fastest growing direct-to-consumer brand maybe ever, the gummy bears, the green gummy bears. I didn't know he had a Utah connection. He went to BYU.
Really?
He never talks about it. Maybe you should get him on.
Yeah.
But in a year and a half goes to a $500 million valuation. And
crazy.
I think it's an actual solid business. He just wrote something about everyone glorifies like the Steve Jobs, the Elon Musks, I mean, those two as the main prototypical guys for being amazing micromanagers. They know every single thing about the business, and they're in it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
hands in everything.
Yeah. And he's like, that's incredible. But he said, I think actually the best businesses are the ones where you hire the right person and you back out, enough to support. And it's like, okay, look, if Steve Jobs and Elon, this is not a political thing. If we're calling them once in generation type people, it's like, that's not me. And that's not the lifestyle I want to lead either. And frankly, I'm not that smart, where it's like, hey, Mark knows so much more about his stuff. I'm going to let him do it and get out. And Nikki, who runs our customer service, our CX, that's really our most important business unit, I think. She knows more about the Franks writing in because of whatever. I'm going to let her do it, and then hopefully empower her to make the decision. Where now it's kind of flipped, where everything was bottlenecked at me, if you can say bottlenecked, where it's like, oh yeah, we need Ben's sign off. I'm like, what? You give me the and I'm the one who fostered it, so I'm not blaming those people. Where it's like, oh, you're going to come to me and say, hey, we need this. I'm going to take 12 seconds to digest the information. I make a better decision than you do.
Right.
So
and they're in it every day.
Yeah. So now it's flipped, where it's like, hey, very much the language is, I feel like I should do that. And we're trying to make it a scientific method. You have a hypothesis. I think if I do this, we will have Y results. I'm letting you know that I'm going to do it. Is that okay? Great. And that's only been the last like 6 months, and it's been awesome. And I'm much happier now, and the business is way better than it's ever been, I think, because of that.
It's a really interesting debate of the Elon Musk model. Have you read his?
I have.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The amount of detail he knows about everything, and it's everything that's happening, and that he has to be involved in every decision.
Yep.
And clear. Well, I don't know. I think you could say clearly that's worked out for him. Would Elon Musk improve with a slightly different model? I don't know. He is generational.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to manage that. But there is plenty of evidence that demonstrates hey, I'm the head coach, but you guys all have your roles, and I'm going to put the most talented people I can find around me and let them run their divisions.
To your point about soccer, it's like how much coaching really happens on field. I'm not saying how much talking, because you hear from the coaches all the time. It's like, hey, the coach talking right then to your son or daughter, it's like, that's not going to impact, that's not going to change the way that they move. Maybe for those 12 seconds while your son is playing left back and he's next to the sideline next to the coach.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, it's the actual coaching in the middle of the week before game day.
All the prep.
Yeah, all the prep. And it's like, hey, just go trust the 11 players and plus the subs. Don't forget the subs.
Don't forget the subs.
Yeah. The 16, the 14 players that are going to see the pitch that night. It's like, let them do their thing. That center back should be able to do their thing without you being. And again, you can, in the moment, it's like, yeah, step back. But
No,
it's like,
that's what I was going to say. Like, and you see that with a lot of the professional teams, and I mean, there's still the guys that are yelling constantly, and maybe that's just a nervous habit. I don't.
That's
know.
what
yelling.
Really, I think it's like really it's just noise.
Yeah,
especially in those stadiums with 50,000 people. It's like, I'm sorry, they're not listening to
the other side of But in the middle of that, the coach may notice. There's a backside run that's happening, and so you just point that out, and maybe that's your role. Yeah. Like as, hey, you guys are running this, but did you check? Did you see this thing happening over here? Yeah.
I do think it's important. It's like, why don't you do the best of both worlds? Where, like I still think you should know about every facet of the business, and I try to.
Sure.
Where it's like, hey, if I don't know how to do something, or if I don't know something. Like, I feel like I should be able to do it if I'm going to have a good conversation, where it's like, oh, I think that's probably my best role, where if I know just enough about CX, and I try to spend an hour a week in our queues. So going and responding and saying, hey, do I see any trends on my own? So I think there's value to knowing everything, but and look, I'm not, again, talking about Elon, I'm not trying to build $4 billion, $100 billion businesses. I'm just trying to build one $100 million business. And I'd like to be present for my 2 kids' lives and go home. And I think that the best way to get there is by empowering and enabling our small team to make their own decisions.
Yeah. Well, I have some follow-up questions about that, and about lifestyle, and about how you manage, or is it possible to manage all of those things when you're trying to build and grow a business? But before we get to that, that'll be our last segment.
Okay.
That'll be our ending segment. I do want to get back to this this is a critical issue to me. Critical. Very important issue. How do we fix U.S. soccer? This is my premise.
Yeah.
U.S. soccer should be a dominant force on the world stage.
Yep.
Like, in terms of resources and talent and availability, like we almost are, everybody else seems to be at a disadvantage. Like, the U.S. has all the stuff, but they just can't seem to rise to the level. And maybe I'm being too critical. What are your thoughts about the state of U.S. soccer?
Yeah, women's soccer is awesome. I'll say that. I think it's great.
U.S. women's
soccer is awesome. That's why you see that. I know they didn't win the last Olympics or World Cup, but it's like, hey, but what about the 5 before that in the Olympics? The rest of the world's catching up, which I think is actually good for the women's game. Then my wife coaches at UVU, So I'm actually much more in the women's game now. But the women's game seems to be much better and healthier. The men, I mean, they just lost the Gold Cup. And I know it's not the full starting 11, but it wasn't the full starting 11 for anyone.
That's right.
Yeah. Because they lost to Mexico.
Yeah.
Final.
That should have been a foul, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the coach is a really good coach. So it's not.
I do too.
Yeah. And I think it's crazy to me. Again, you're talking about the coaching in game versus all the practice lead up. Like, hey, the 11 players we got on the field, that's not the result of like a season of work. It's like the full system. And so I'm like, hey, honestly, we just don't have that talented of players. It's our golden generation. Christian Pulisic is unbelievable. And you got some other guys who are good. But yeah, I think it's crazy how much you have to pay to play in the good leagues now. That's my big knock.
In the U.S.?
In the U.S.
Okay, so that's an interesting question about the model of U.S. soccer versus the world. So if you're a talented player overseas and you get identified, you're in the system.
You're in the system.
You're not paying for it.
At Hong Kong Football Club, so when I was old enough, I didn't pay $1 for my club fees. And again, that's not like some pro league, and U.S. has more resources than the Hong Kong Soccer League.
Yeah.
The MLS is whatever the 5th most valuable league in the world. So yeah, I think it's crazy that you pay $20,000 or whatever to play in the, what is it called, NWSL and all the new leagues that are they're newer.
Yes,
and then you go to the state of Utah, for example. Do you know how many Division I soccer players the state produces, men and women? A lot, especially on the women's side.
Yeah,
but they're like, there's good talent here, but everyone now in these leagues, you know better than I do, but you'll drive or fly to Colorado or to Florida,
Las Vegas, and Florida,
like,
and Idaho, and
you just
Arizona.
You bring them all back, and you all just play the same. You just play against each other. And
yes, that's exactly right. You fly to Arizona, and you're like, we're playing these guys next week in Utah.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I'm like, just play against other teams. You can go on bus trips, but yeah, I mean, you're never going to get the best players. And it's like, I read something really interesting. You talk.
No,
you talk
this is a very random question.
Yeah,
it may just be one random question.
Yeah, sorry. It's like I read something about there is a city in Florida, a town in Florida that produces not even close per capita more than any other city or town NFL players. It's a really poor town, and it's because it's the way out of poverty is the NFL. And that's how it is in Europe and South America and Asia for most of these pros. Very few of the best players on planet Earth in soccer
came from
money.
Extraordinary resources.
The famous example is Kaká, the Brazilian, where he was a wealthy Brazilian. But almost every other person, I think Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, they weren't rich. In fact, they were the opposite of rich, lower middle class maybe. It's like,
Beckham?
Yeah.
Is he the same story?
Yeah, he was.
That's a good documentary.
A great documentary. So all that to be said, I'm like, and I saw it in college soccer, and there was this is the last thing I'll say. There was a famous guy who played for Blackburn Rovers in the Premier League for 10 years, 15 years, and he came to the MLS at the end of his career. And he was playing for Toronto FC, and he was sitting next to a rookie. He was 23 with an accounting degree or something like that from Stanford, which is cool. And he said, this is the problem. And I can say that because best case scenario, I was that guy. Seriously, where it's like, hey, worst case scenario, just because of the way that we're now funneling players to college, and college is becoming more redundant in a good way.
Yeah.
Because like, oh, you have to pay whatever, all in 10, 15, 20K per kid per year to play on a top team to go play college soccer. And then if I play really well at college soccer for a few years, I'll get drafted and then I'll play in the MLS. Be 22, 23 at that point.
And these guys, overseas, they've been fostered.
And then,
from the time they're
in the first team. They're starting to train with the first team at 16, 17.
Yeah.
It's like, That 23-year-old's not going to make it. And guess what? He doesn't have nearly the hunger to play. I'm not just saying soccer is only for poorer families. Like, you for sure expand the talent pool if you make it accessible to all. And
yeah.
So that's my big thing. I'm like, hey, I think soccer is the beautiful game. It's amazing because you just find grass. You can make your own goals. It can be free. Everyone around the world plays it, except for in the Philippines where I served a mission. I could have served anywhere else and seen soccer, but
Not
yeah.
there.
So
Funny.
I'm pretty passionate about this one. I think it's crazy that you have to pay 15, 20 grand.
I think the model has to change.
Yeah.
If the U.S. wants to, the U.S. should be a dominant force in soccer, but they're going to have to make significant changes. Yeah. It's not like, it's not identifying the talent and fostering the talent. It's like the talent has to self-identify and then be so passionate about the game, or have parents who are so passionate about the game that they're forking out all this money for the training and the trips and it's not inexpensive.
Oh yeah. It's the last thing I'll say, when you put all that money in and all the way it's now, winning is most important rather than development. I'm very big on that one. And I've read a few books about Dutch soccer. And you look at their national team, great national team, especially considering how many people they have in the country. Same with Denmark. And it's like, hey, development comes before all. So at 8, 10, 12, 14, there's an agreement that you don't yell at the kids for losing. If you yell at the kids for not doing the right fundamentals or playing the right way or having bravery to have some creativity. But in the U.S., it's like, okay, let's get the big kid who's bigger than everyone else at 13. Let's put him at center forward or center back. Let's have him kick it as far as he can. And again, direct styles are fine, but it doesn't develop any players.
Right.
And it's like, okay, we won. We beat Impact Black today 2-0. Good job, everybody. It's like, oh, but no one got better.
Yeah.
So I could talk for a long time about this.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. That might be a complete podcast on its own.
Yeah. We'll do that one separately.
The state of U.S. soccer. Okay. Yeah. Let's do that one separately. Yeah. Okay. Back to the business.
Yeah.
How is Ann Caller just a Utah phenomenon? I mean, is it like, if you took your sales across the United States, is it more prominent in Utah or?
For sure. Yeah. I'm stopping you before you try to be nice. Where
I think there's a certain culture here that lends itself to that.
Oh, my dad, when I told him that I was going to forgo like a good career path, he was so optimistic and he brought his spreadsheet out. That's the first thing he did. He's like, okay, this is your future. Let's bring out a spreadsheet. And it was, I mean, you talked about how I like gather data or make decisions early on. It's like, oh, I've got eyes. I can observe. And I know without doing any research, but now I've done the research, that Utah wears more dress shirts per capita on a weekly basis than any other state in the United States of America. I know that. And it makes sense why. So it wasn't like I dumbly was like, oh, I should sell white shirts in Utah. I was like, oh, I know that.
In Utah,
I know that there are a lot of white shirts sold in Utah. But thankfully, we're starting to, like, I mean, if we would have talked 6 years ago, my first couple of years, it's like, oh yeah, 85% of sales would have been in the Intermountain West. Now it's on D2C side. I think Intermountain West being defined as Colorado, Arizona, Utah, and Arizona, Nevada too, and Wyoming, I guess we can throw in.
Does Wyoming always feel like that? Like people are always like, I guess we could.
Yeah, we can throw them in there. I feel bad.
I do too.
It's like, I think it's 30%, 32%. So it's like, oh, it's for sure important to us.
Yeah.
And when you throw in wholesale too, it's like, oh, it's for sure the golden goose and the cash cow. But thankfully it's like, oh, we're not limited to.
So, okay, let's talk about what is your mix of D2C, and I'm talking online versus being in store.
Yeah. So, I know it's a simple question. We say we have 4 businesses. One is Amazon. One is our end caller D2C. One is wholesale. And then one is our sub brand called Flight, which is for airline pilots and time about observation. So we make the same fabric, dress shirt, same size, just for airline pilots, because we started to get hundreds of airline pilots emailing in if we could make special shirts for them. And then we did our qualitative research to assess the opportunity. So we have a sub brand called Flight. So if you hopped on your Delta flight tomorrow, the math is on a Delta pilot, you've got about a 30% chance that he's wearing a Flight shirt. If it's a man, we have women's shirts too, but 90% of commercial pilots are males. So if your next Delta flight, there's probably a 25 to 33% chance that they're wearing one of our shirts. But anyway, so those are our 4 businesses. Trailing 12 months, Amazon is growing the fastest for us. It's only about 10% though. So it'll make up 10% of revenue in 2025. Wholesale should be 25%. It's 30%, pretty significant of the overall P&L. That was wholesale. Flight, so the airline brand, that one should do about 10 to 15% of overall businesses here, and then D2C, whatever the remaining balance is.
So so let's talk about the advantages of the shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to say comfort, stain. Wait, how do you say it? Not stain resistant.
Stain repellent.
Stain repellent. Yeah. And you have the commercials. You're pouring stuff. Is that actual?
It's real.
Are you pouring stuff and it's actually just beating?
And we don't doctor it, and it's fun and like magical every time. It's like, is it going to work? And it always works.
Because did you see the news article the other day about some new band that's made a bunch of, and it's all AI?
No,
a bunch of hits?
No.
Have you? That's not you guys.
No.
Okay.
It sounds like a good idea though.
Absolutely. And how would you say it manages like heat, humidity?
I mean, that's was the initial selling point.
Okay.
One where it was designed for. So it does well. We always lead with the stain repellent because it's the most clickbaity if you're scrolling through. But it's interesting. The 3 things people talk about most after having the product. Comfort is number 1. That's just the hardest to show visually. But comfort number 1, fit number 2, and then low maintenance number 3. You can kind of throw wrinkle or like the wrinkle resistance, the stain repellents into there, but it's kind of low stress, low maintenance. But it's interesting, stain repellents doesn't. That's a really fun like Trojan horse to get people in. But in actuality, you're not pouring Kool-Aid all over yourself at your family party.
I typically don't.
Yeah. I mean, you should try.
Someone else does.
Yeah.
I don't do myself.
Yeah. You're paying your kids. So but you nailed it. That was kind of the order.
So do you market to specific areas in the country based on all of those things? Like, I'm not saying that.
No. Yeah.
Is Georgia messier than, but Georgia would be hot and humid. Florida, hot in the south, typically hot and humid. Is there,
I mean, those are the states that do well naturally with just the universal messaging. So the fastest growing outside of the Intermountain West are your California, Texas, and Florida. Florida actually being number 1 because of it's the right demographic where the Northeast probably will never be awesome for us because they're a little more fashion forward and like willing to spend on fashion. Where it's like, hey, a good guy in Tallahassee going to the office or bank telling every Monday through Friday. Yeah, he'll buy our stuff.
He wants a nice, reasonable, comfortable, high quality. Do you ever feel like, I mean, you've done this a few times. This is going to sound terrible. I don't mean it to sound terrible.
No, it's fine.
Do you feel like you undervalue your brand?
Oh, for sure.
You've said it.
Yeah.
Do you do that by design? I mean, you said like Lululemon's awesome. But we're not Lululemon, but you have such a great product. Like,
I think that I'm just self-deprecating in nature where, growing up, it's just, I think the mix of like English and Chinese cultures It's like, oh, you know, everything is fair game. Chinese people are typically more humble. I'm like, oh, I'm getting the mix. Now I just insult myself and the brand. Brian, who now runs our marketing, we hired him from Chirp, the back wheel pain relief company. He's done a good job of like, hey, we can be cool. We will sell more if we are cool. And so like the messaging and actual visuals are all starting to mature a little bit more. I think in response to that. So I do need to get better with that. But
well, it's a nice evolution because you came out of the gate like we're comfort, stain resistant, and not only that, but it's a great price point.
Yeah.
But now you can, like, you've added great designs. And so in all fairness, I had just kind of considered like and collar is just the white shirt. They have the blue button, and maybe they have a few other colors. They have this really cool, like creamy. But I didn't, until I started doing more research for this, I didn't realize that the patterns were out there. You have pants, you have shoes, there's this socks, this whole thing. So I think the evolution has been really interesting, and I'll follow it more closely.
We'll get you some stuff. He's the right steward for it.
That's great. So, well, I do need, and the thing that I need to talk to you about, well, maybe let's talk about it on air, because here's my issue. We said it earlier. I'm 16 and a half, 35. I don't know what that means. In and collar, and your sizing isn't 16 and a half, 35. So if I go on a Brooks Brothers or if I go on a Nordstrom, that's how I would order a shirt. 16 and a half, 35. I know it's going to fit. And then I essentially know if it says fitted, or what is the other term that they use for the big boxy cut?
Like traditional, classic.
Traditional. By the way, I had left over for some reason a traditional shirt in my closet that I put on several weeks ago.
Horrible.
It's unbelievable that people were wearing stuff like that.
Oh, I know.
There's so much material just hanging out all over the place. Anyway, okay, so how do I translate that? How do I say, like, okay, this is I'm a 1635. I really like this and collar shirt, but I don't know what to order.
So that's what one of the biggest challenges we had to tackle in the process of getting people to convert on site. So there's 3 touch points. One, now there's like a little AI shopping assistant that you can type in. You're like, hey, I'm 6'3", or I'm 6'4", I'm 175 pounds, 190 pounds. What size should I wear? And it'll give you a decent recommendation most of the time. But we also have a visual size guide that is a model in every shirt size with his height and weight. And then there's also the equivalencies of collar size and sleeve length. So you could go in, size chart is what it's called. It's like, oh, I'm going to find, so you'd be the large slim, 16 and a half, 34, 35 or whatever.
That's large slim. That's not large athletic.
Yeah. So the athletic, that one's a funny one, talking about research. No one wants to be regular. No one wants to be classic or traditional for the way that you just scoffed.
Because yes.
And you're like, oh, and it doesn't matter what age you are. It's like, I don't want to be my dad. If I'm 80, I don't want to be my dad. He was an old guy. If I'm 20, I don't want to be, and I think everyone thinks of that when you hear traditional or classic. And so our highest ordered unit was always the large and XL units, were the large and XL slim. Because everyone thinks they are slim. And no one wanted to be regular, is what we had it called at first.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, even if I think I know in my head that I'm a regular, I don't want to be a regular. So I'm going to order the large slim. I was a large slim a few years ago before I got married and had kids. I was a large slim. And so, but that was also by far our highest returned product. So we did a little bit of qualitative, a little bit of quantitative, and a little bit of fingers crossed. And we changed the tag to athletic.
It's much more appealing.
And it's a little confusing. It's because it's for sure not a standard term. Like you're not going to go into any other brand and their bigger fit is going to be athletic. But our returns and exchanges legitimately went down at that little inflection point because guys who I think knew that they weren't the large slim, they're like, you know what? I'm an athletic. I'm a large athletic.
Yes.
So you would either be our large, slim, or medium athletic.
There's no way I'm a medium.
I know people don't say that. I'll send it
exactly
to you.
what I'll say.
Yeah, and so that's also the hard part about it. For the way that we've done athletic, and our recommendation for the best fit, if you were to go to a large athletic, it's going to fit the same way that shirt you just talked about a couple weeks ago. So the medium athletic will still be a nice tailored fit. But
so
anyway,
it's either a medium athletic,
I'll send you both,
or a large slim. Okay.
Yeah.
I really found lots of options. Like this is what I typically wear every day.
Okay. I'll send
Except
you
in the winter, then I throw a sweater on top.
Of course. I'll send you and Solomon and Tess if she wants, and Jordan. Everyone I met. Not the golfer. He
Reggie.
Yeah.
No, Reggie doesn't need anything.
Yeah, not Reggie, but everyone else I've met today.
Okay, tell me before I let you go. Thank you, by the way. Thank you for your time, for all of the insight. You've been very generous. It's been fascinating. I love the story. What's next for Ann Caller? What should we be expecting in the market?
I think we're trying to just do operational excellence, the stuff that you're not going to see, where it's, hey, we're not going to come out with products that won't sell. So we're not just going to keep expanding the product line. It's like, hey, let's get really dialed in on coming out with this nice orange and blue pattern. Let's sell them really fast. And then let's get some nice, inventory turns, and let's come out with our fall batch. So a lot of the stuff I think and hope you don't see in terms of us getting better, continuing to expand wholesale. So we rolled out with Men's Warehouse.
Nice.
In a regional rollout. It's like, hey, if we scale that, that's an account that does $4 or $5 million a year by itself.
Yeah.
And maybe acquires us one day as a private label. So it's just like, okay, you're never going to see what that actually looks like. It's like, okay, we're in whatever 30, 40 doors right now. Let's get to 100 next year. Let's continue to expand with mom and pop shops. We're expanding our product line with Flight, which you're not going to see. We're going to offer pants by Airline because they have specific colors. Like that could be your UPS pant. UPS has 8,000 pilots. Who knew?
Absolutely.
And so a lot of stuff that you're not going to see, I hope we do really, really well. And we're just trying to, chug along and be a really awesome business. Not the world's biggest business, but I think an awesome business.
Yeah. And can you manage that, as you said, to have you're competitive, but you also want to have a lifestyle, and where do you draw the line where you just cut off work? And
I feel like it's been really healthy, and our team is all very much aligned there, where it's like, hey, and I think that's been the nice change since last year. We don't all need to be right next to each other to make sure that work happens. I'm usually in the office 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. But it's like, hey, I trust you, and I trust that person. I trust that person to do their jobs. So it's like kind of the thing we've talked about this year. If you want to go to Portugal, Mark's going to Portugal. He just told me. He's like, I want to go to Portugal for 2 weeks. In 3 weeks, he just decided. It's like, hey, if you get all your work done, I don't care where you are. And so trying to do that, because it seems like we're doing the wrong thing if we're not living while building this business. So, yeah.
Well, there can be this tendency to say, oh, well, I'm in business, so my goal should be increase revenue, increase profitability, more on the market, more market share. And if you're doing that, it's like it's really hard to stop. And if you want to get acquired, then you might think, well, then our numbers have to be this and this and this and this. And so are you saying that you're more interested in running a very high quality business, having a lifestyle for you and the people you work with, and the other stuff, if you get acquired, if you don't get acquired, that's...
Yeah. We are trying to get acquired in the next few years. Learning from the soccer reviews thing. It's like, I like to make some money on this. And I actually should have taken an offer in 2021.
Sure.
That was a crazy offer. But, I think what's the famous Marie Antoinette saying that?
Let them eat cake.
Yeah. That is what I'm saying. Well, I know it's about cake. can't have cake and eat it too.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
That's
Yeah.
not her, but I knew she talked about cake.
There was cake.
Yeah.
Anne Marie Antoinette.
I knew.
Different content.
See, I know just enough to be dangerous. And I was the misinformation, the AI. It's me. It's the synapses of my brain. But where it's like, I think we can do all of them. Where I think we can run a really efficient, good business that someone wants to acquire in a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it feels like the acquisition almost becomes easier if we're working all solid 40-hour weeks.
Sure.
Where it's like, hey, you don't need crazy superstars who are kind of killing themselves to acquire this business and have it keep growing. We grow every year dependably, and we're living good lives. It's like, hey,
that seems like a reasonable business
Yeah.
to acquire.
So I don't want to run this for 20 years. I don't want to run this even for 10 more years. Realistically, probably 2-3 more years, and we get out.
And then what?
Back to soccer equipment. I don't know. I'll just hang out with you here.
Why not?
Okay, actually, what I want to do, I'll tell you. Athletes in lab coats. Lab coat athletes. I don't know which one's punchier. It's basically soccer reviews, but it's for all sports equipment, and it's like Mythbusters meets sports science.
Oh,
So
that's great. I love it.
I'm gonna tell you the best wide receiver glove. I'm gonna pay an engineering student out of BYU or UVU or the U to generate a test that does abrasion tests. And so I can tell you which glove is the best.
Yeah.
That one will just be a passion project.
I love it.
I probably don't make any money.
It'd be super fun. Yeah.
But hopefully I have some money to spend on it.
Absolutely.
And it'll at least keep me away from my wife.
But your wife's coaching, right?
I lied. She stopped this year when we had our second.
Gotcha.
Which I'm sad about because I love listening to her team meetings.
Oh.
Like the staff meetings.
Yeah.
They would meet on like Sunday nights and talk about the next week of training. And I'd be like, Mel, turn it up louder. I want to hear who's starting. Why isn't Faith's? What's wrong with Faith? Or here's the tactical lineup, or here's the thing they're doing in drills.
You have input feedback.
Yeah.
How does she manage that when you're like, hey, I noticed this formation. And I just a thought or two.
We've got good boundaries. She doesn't care about my opinion when it comes to the. I'm like, so I won't voice it unless she asks me after a game. She's like, hey, what did you like? They played Michigan State. They beat Michigan, or they played Michigan. They beat them at the end. She asked my opinion when they win games. Like, that was exciting. So I'll share it when she asks. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
I can't let you go. I had 2 more questions. I can't let you go until I ask these 2 questions. Okay. First question is socks.
Yeah.
You're making socks. Are you going to expand your sock offering?
If we continue to sell more, yes.
Here's my only
complaint
thing about your sock. Or maybe I should send it. Who's your customer experience?
Send it to me.
Okay. I want to wear a sock with, I can't wear your socks that you currently with this outfit, but I want to wear your socks and your shirt together. So that's why I'm asking about your sock expansion.
We're looking at it. So it's designed specifically for a missionary. So it's a cycling sock. So it's supposed to be as thin as possible.
Then that makes perfect sense.
Like I wear them to church. You can pair them technically with, or like meetings. I'll wear them most days when I'm wearing pants. Sorry, you're going to complain to Jordan about me that I'm showing too much leg.
We have a new in-office no short, so
I knew it.
You sneaked under the deadline.
Tess locked the door and said, "You need to come back with some pants."
Could you put some pants on, please? Okay, last question. Very important question. Best soccer boot ever made?
That's a good one. That is a good one. I mean, the product family that I'd say is the Adidas Predator. So it's been going for 20 years or 30 years. Yeah,
it has been. But I didn't think you would go with the Adidas Predator.
Yeah, I'm an Adidas guy. Typically, right after I said I want to run Nike, they just fit my feet a little bit better. And so in the mornings I wear Adidas shoes.
I gotcha.
So I think the Adidas Predator family, they did the big 30-year anniversary last year. So 94 is when they started it with Beckham and Zidane and all those guys through 2024. I feel old now. I'm like, I remember those cleats.
I would, but Adidas probably has the most iconic.
Yeah, they do.
Soccer.
And the Copa Mundial is the famous one.
That's what I was going to say. But maybe that's a generational.
No, I have a pair of those too. I have too many pairs.
Do you?
I pay for them now.
Do you collect?
I'm not a collector. If you can see from my shoes right now, I don't take I wear things. My Mark gets angry at me. He gifts me a pair of Nikes every year, and he's a collector and keeps them in pristine condition. I'm like, hey, I'm going to wear shoes.
Yeah, you buy them.
I buy them to wear them. So I don't collect anything. I wear them until they're pretty dirty, and I'll try to clean them and stuff. But I'm not a collector.
All right. Well, listen, we really appreciate your time here and all of the fascinating stories. I'm sure we could spend more time. So come back.
Took too much of your time.
You did not. Come back and see us. We'd love to get an update in the next several months and see what you're doing. See what new patterns
I'll send you some.
created. All right. Ben Perkins and caller. You're going to be the next Lululemon. There's no doubt.
I wish.
Congratulations on all the success. Come back and see us.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Know Your Ship podcast presented by eHub. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review.